Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. We are your hosts, Vidas
and Ausra.
We've been mastering secrets of organ playing for more than 20 years and sharing them on this blog since 2011.
On this show, which we create from our home in Vilnius, Lithuania, we strive to help you grow in every area of organ playing, including practice, technique, repertoire, sight reading, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory, harmony, and many others.
Our hope is to help you become a complete musician, or what we call as total organist. A program which we have created to help you reach your dreams faster than you would do on your own.
If you are new here, we invite you to subscribe to receive free updates of this blog at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
And now let's go to the podcast for today. Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Ausra.
Let's start episode 332 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by Steven and he writes, Good morning Vidas, hope all is well with you. Thank you very much for your helpful podcasts. Today and tonight I accompanied several choral numbers and performed a few hymns and Campra's Rigaudon at a very large venue out of town on a very large pipe organ. I'm nearly 70 years old, my memory isn't all that bad anymore, but it's not quite as quick to store information as it used to be. When I perform at the organ, I'm finding it necessary to sight read a good deal more than I used to. I was familiar with the music and the instrument, but hadn't performed it there in about 15 years and was given only about a month's notice to get things prepared. The instrument is fully playable with electropneumatic action, but has a few quirks, most noticeably a very deep key fall with stiff action and on the pedal keys, and very weak manual key springs on where the slightest touch makes an electrical contact to pull pallets. This can cause a lot of strange notes to enter when they shouldn't, and leads to a lot of mistakes when playing the pedals. It's like your hands are playing on a soap bubble and your feet are playing in mud. I practiced the music beforehand every day for 2 weeks, 3 hours a day, to the point where my bottom was even sore to sit on the bench. Last night, due to the excitement, I was unable to get a restful night's sleep and kept waking up every hour, knowing I had to get up very early this morning and leave in the dark to get there on time. I believe I practiced too hard for too long, as I know my playing is much better than what my listeners heard today and tonight, and to be perfectly honest, I was disappointed with myself. Worst I've ever done. By the time I finished tonight, it felt like my mind was brain dead, rebelling against details, and I felt exhausted. Practice is necessary and good, but too much of a good thing can also not be so good, or so it seemed to me today. On the way home, it occurred to me that this could be something you and Ausra might address in a possible podcast, as many times we don't practice enough. But we can also overdo it the other way too. By the time I played the closing hymn tonight, I was too spent and worn out to even sight read the notes anymore and made many mistakes. I played this same hymn hundreds, maybe thousands of times before and knew it forwards and backwards, but my mind just wasn't working. This is not at all like me. I'm thinking a good night's sleep the night before and more moderate practice habits are in store for me, and perhaps some advice about how to arrive at the balance. This would be helpful to others too. We know we can try too little and practice too little. We can also try too hard, which can hold us back. Maybe also we can practice too much. we can get too little rest. A sleep aid might help some of us, but then again, something like that could make some of us sleep through the alarm clock and and wake up too late to get there on time. If you could shed some light on how to get in the middle of the road with this, I believe it would be very helpful to others as well as myself. It's hard not to get discouraged when things like this happen to us. Many thanks, Steve. Wow, this is a long story, Ausra.
It is.
Have you fallen asleep while I was reading?
No.
Okay.
It was very interesting.
Good. It was interesting to me too, because we all have those experiences, right? When we practice too little and when we practice too much.
So I would say, that the middle way would be the best, like moderation in everything that we do. But unfortunately, that not always is the case.
Do you think people usually or most of the time practice too little or too much?
Usually too little. But for example, for me, it's better when, my pieces are not quite ready when I perform them. In that way, I stay more focused. Because if I'm, over prepared, then I'm sort of calmer and, can't focus so much.
Less alert.
Yes.
You're playing like for yourself, not like in public then.
True.
Which might sound a good thing, but it isn't.
That's right.
Or it might be a good thing, but it necessarily is in your case.
Yes. So now it's sort of, strange that, Steve was afraid of, oversleeping, this event. Because usually, if you play concerts, we are in the evenings, most of them, or late at night. And that's the problem for me, because I'm not a night person. I'm more a morning person. And for me, it would be much easier to get up early in the morning and, to play recital early or during the first half of the day. But when I have to play recital, let's say at 7:30, or even at even later at night, is hard for me. Because I cannot be in good shape so late at night. Because I never take a naps. For example, I can't take a nap, so it's really difficult. What about you?
As I understand, Steve was waking up due to the excitement last night and unable to get good sleep, and waking up every hour, right? Because of the excitement. Maybe he was nervous, felt like things might not go well, and then he was stressed out. Maybe that's why he couldn't fall asleep and stay asleep. To me, usually when I play, the night before is okay, the week before is okay, and at this point, even the day of the recital is okay. I no longer feel that my fears are helpful, so I kind of don't pay attention to my fears. I do feel approaching due date, even when we are recording this is Wednesday, and my own recital is coming up on Saturday. I'll be playing organ works by Teisutis Makačinas, a living Lithuanian composer who is celebrating 80 years anniversary this year, and he was Ausra's and my harmony teacher and polyphony teacher.
Professor,
right? So he will be there too. I'll be playing 3 of his large-scale organ works. But I do everything I can during this week to prepare myself, to practice better and to be ready. But I know that being afraid of the upcoming recital and thinking about it during the night doesn't lead me anywhere, right? So then I kind of disconnect a little bit from that feeling. Maybe that's because I've been playing recitals, for more than 25 probably years.
Well, the more you play, the more often you perform in public, the easier it gets for you to do it. Because if you're, performing, let's say, each week, then you could not allow yourself not to sleep a night before recital. You would get too many restless nights, and you would ruin your health. So if you have trouble sleeping before recital, I would suggest either herbal teas, or if that doesn't help, then probably pills. Consult your physician.
So Steve also needs to perform more, I guess, in order not to have a big deal out of this.
Yes, because it seems like it was very big deal for him. And that's where all that excitement, came from.
Yes. He wrote that he accompanied several choral numbers and performed a few hymns and Campra's Rigaudon. So one solo piece, right, was kind of this Rigaudon, and then he performed a few hymns, which is also not solo music. It's just congregational accompaniment, and then choral accompaniment of several numbers. So it wasn't even a solo recital that he did. Obviously, he needs to perform much more and much more intricate music, and more often, and on different organs, that he wouldn't get too stressed out about each and every recital or performance, right? That would be my best advice for him and others.
Yes, and for me, I got impression that Steve a little bit blamed the instrument that he was playing on for his, lousy action. I like his comparison about feeling that, he played pedals in the mud. I think that's so human-like that when anything got wrong or not as well as we expected, we sort of are trying to find something to put blame on. And for organists, it's usually the instrument. Do you think it's fair?
To blame others?
To blame the instrument.
Or the instrument. Sometimes we blame other people.
Yes, page turner, for example.
Yes, or the audience, or choir members, or people who make noise, or construction workers on the street, or anybody else but myself. So yes, if imagine a situation if Steve could have played well on this instrument without major mistakes and he was happy, then his letter might have sounded much different, right, to us than from what he wrote. Maybe the action of the instrument wouldn't be a problem then.
Yes, and for me, I got the impression that it was not a problem because, he worked too much on those pieces before this recital. I think it was the main problem that actually he could not rest the night before. And that's why it was hard for him, to go through that recital without many mistakes. And as he wrote, that in the last hymn he couldn't sight read through.
Mm-hmm.
He made so many mistakes. So I guess he just didn't have enough energy to do left. And that's because that restless night.
But sometimes we make mistakes, sometimes we don't make mistakes, sometimes we get good sleep, sometimes we don't, right? Things happen and we can't control. And even it's not up to us sometimes, right? And we still have to get up and go to the organ bench and play to the best of our ability, right? That's what we do as professionals. And well, have you ever played Ausra recital while being sick or feeling sick?
Oh, yes. Not once.
Not once.
Yes.
Me too.
And without sleeping, much the night before, yes.
Mm-hmm. How did you, feel or how did it go?
Well, surprisingly enough, that those recitals went even better for me than like regular recitals. Because again, when I wouldn't feel well, when I would be very tired, I would have to concentrate more.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Otherwise, I would just know that I will collapse on the organ.
Mm-hmm. But again, this is your experience of playing more than 25 years in public. Maybe somebody like Steve, while being sick and without rest, couldn't perform at all. Maybe he would be tempted to cancel his performance, at the last minute.
Well, sometimes I think that it's better to cancel your recital when you know to do a slap job. Don't you think so?
But you don't know if you will do a sloppy job beforehand or not.
You never know, but if you really, are sick.
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends. Illness depends, right? If you have a fever and can barely walk out of bed, then maybe it's better to cancel, right? But I also played recitals while having a high temperature, and as you say, it went surprisingly well.
But you took a big risk, not because I actually didn't care about that recital at all. I just cared about your health.
Mm-hmm.
Because while, playing with a high fever, you might really, damage your heart
Mm-hmm.
and might not be able to perform at all after that.
I knew that before, and for that particular recital, this was improvisation recital.
No, it wasn't improvisation recital, it was a Christmas recital.
Oh, that's
You
another
played a
time.
Christmas repertoire.
I played more than once while being sick then.
Well, but this was, with high fever that you
High
played.
fever. So then I think I played without too much tension from myself, conscious effort. Just I thought I would play just like for myself or for you, not for others, and that helped me relax and somehow overcome this. Right? Okay, so sleep well, get some rest, get good rest before recital, and perform more actually. Perform more in public, more often, with different programs, and gradually more difficult programs too. More solo pieces. Thank you guys. This was very interesting to discuss. Please keep sending us your questions. We love helping you grow. And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.
This blog is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online, where you will find courses for every area of organ playing, including technique, practice, sight reading, repertoire playing, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory, and harmony, with hundreds of scores and thousands of exercises. Here is what some of the students are saying.
Hugh writes, the sight reading course has helped me tremendously. Thank you very much for your essays, courses, and all your help.
Robert writes, I found the fingerings, registration ideas, and general comments to be excellent.
John writes, I have found your download very helpful. It was really excellent. I have watched some of your teaching videos, and when I read your instructions, I tried to imagine you were teaching me. You may feel disappointed that I am 2-3 days behind, but I am a slow learner, and I have committed to taking the time to get it right as you say. But the other night my wife commented that she had never heard me play such a detailed melody in the left hand so well. My left hand is generally poor.
Robert writes, it has been a great pleasure in my life of having discovered your courses and material as well as the YouTube work of recordings. You have a calm and pleasant way of teaching.
Ron writes, Hi Vidas and Ausra, thank you guys. What a wonderful response to my email note to you. You've got me right, and I feel you understand my level of playing. Yes, at home and lucky that I have an organ for that reason. I am paying attention to this, and I am going to try this haha no longer secret model. Yes, and I love Cesar Frank too. What is very nice about your blog podcast is that Ausra and Vidas are like a Socratic dialogue, and by bouncing things off of each other, so much more information comes out and is expressed. Your comments contain a wealth of information and understanding. I really appreciate this. It is very inspiring and will keep us moving forward.
Would you like to receive the same or even better results that our students are getting? If so, join them at organduo.lt/total-organist. And of course, you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to receive free updates of this blog, make sure you do that at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video, how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
This was Vidas.
And Ausra from Secrets of Organ Playing.
And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.